Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic / Non-Classic. This episode 593 and Doubleshot number 487. Like I said last video, two more trades. First up, it is Spider-Man Daily Bugle. Yeah, I think Marvel did this as a response to DC doing Superman Daily Planet, which featured tales of, well, Daily Planet stuff. This one is Daily Bugle, though not as many stories. Yeah, first is a miniseries called Daily Bugle, which focuses on Betty Brant getting a story. It's an interesting little miniseries. Also, a miniseries called Deadline. I've heard of the name of this series. Didn't know what it was about. It featured a character named Catherine, who was never appeared in Page of Spider-Man, as far as I can remember. She flirted with the Human Torch, and she basically put out a good story. Then there was also a backup story they published from the pages of Spectacular Spider-Man 205 to 207, which, well, they also had, I think it was this one. They also revealed that a character named, I think it was in this one. It was basically all about Jameson, but there was this one particular character. I think it was from this one. Yeah, the Deadline one also featured various supervillains, including like the Terrible Tinkerer. But in issue 2, this one had like a bunch of like big name villains. Let's see, we have Batroc the Leaper, who was getting surgery. It's interesting, though, you had this character, and yet, I think after this miniseries, I don't think she was ever seen ever again. Yeah, that's her. And apparently, why is Batroc the Leaper getting surgery? Repair his leg? Well, because Hawkeye shot him in his leg. Yeah, I have no idea when the heck this takes place. There's also mentions of the Wrecking Crew, which is nice, the fact to bring those guys up. Yeah, one of the places I thought was really interesting, the fact that she visited. Oh yeah, they also there's a guy called Carjack, which he's a character from the pages of Thunderstrike. Yeah, Thunderstrike #1 is when he debuted this character. Apparently, they said he was a superhero, even though he was a villain. I'm not kidding about that. I have no idea why in the world they did that for, but they did. Heck, even Bullseye popped up for an issue. Even Dr. Octopus did too. Yep. They also revealed that this guy here, this fancy reporter who kept trying to steal stories, it turns out he was in fact crooked. Yep, here's Bullseye. Yep. Right. What's a good picture? There we go. That's a good picture of Bullseye. Yeah, along with the Orb is there. This is the original Orb. The Red Ghost, Vulture, and Hammerhead. Don't recognize any of our villains who are here. I think that's Armadillo there in that picture. But it's a really good depiction of some of these villains. In the case of this is actually the original Orb, not the one Jason Aaron would create in the pages of Ghost Rider. Yeah, this one actually, the eyeball is a helmet. Yeah, and he's very disfigured underneath the helmet. And as far as I know, this is the last appearance of this guy. Yeah, that's basically what happened with that. The Spectacular Spider-Man backup story, it's focused on Jameson. Yep, that's really what the whole thing is about. It's about Jameson, where it sets some stuff basically goes on in the 80s at that point, where at one point he was kidnapped, and then he freed himself. Marla wearing a very sexy nightgown. Well, this is a point in time where she was depicted. Yeah, this is years before Slott killed her off in the storyline Revenge of the Spider Slayer. Yeah, when she first showed up, she was a sexy scientist, and she was like this up until One More Day, where for some strange reason, I have no idea why the artist did this for, it's like they aged her up 20 years for no reason, despite the fact for years she's a sexy woman who's married to an older guy. Fine, whatever. Also, when they first met, he revealed to her that he was actually no friend of her father's. Yep. Now, did these two have kids? No, they never did. Jameson only had one known kid, and that's John Jameson. Yeah, actually briefly runs into John Jameson in one particular story. Yeah, it was a story about Behind the Mustache, which he runs into John Jameson on the street for some reason. Yeah, I'm not sure exactly why. The holiday special, just well, it's a story done by Tom McFalco. It's just a little holiday story, and of course, him visited by the three ghosts of Christmas. Present apparently is Norman Osborn in chains. Yeah, for some reason it is. I have no idea why in the world they are this. And then we have present being Captain America. And future being, well, the also appearance by The Thing. And then, of course, Spider-Man shows up in here as well, which, well, it's a Spider-Man book, obviously. Yeah, it's about basically preventing his death, stuff like that. Now, who does the other miniseries? Well, the Daily Bugle miniseries that's done by, I think it's done by Peter Gust, I think his name is. Excuse me. Yeah, that's done by Peter Cross with Carl Kitchler on the artwork. Yep. The other writers in here, you have Bill Rosman, Zeb Wells, of course, Tom McFalco, and Stephen Grant. With artwork by Carl Kitchler, Guy Davis, Den Haspel, Walter McDaniel, a bunch of others. Tyza McGaw, I think it's how you pronounce it. Yeah. Great stories. I just kind of wish some of these characters who popped up in these miniseries would actually pop up in Spider books, because the character Catherine from Deadline, never saw her again after this, because it's like, okay, we have this character named Catherine. Apparently she gets some development, and no one did anything with her. In case you're wondering the current status of the Bugle, it's not the original version, but that one is gone. The original version was taken out in the opening arc of the Gauntlet. That was, of course, later bought up by Daniel Bennett, who renamed to DB, and that building was destroyed after being around for many years. Of course, Daily Bugle is under a new building. And like this one, it's run by Robbie Robinson, which is great. Great set of stories in here, but the other ones like Spider-Man Tangled Web 20, and of course the Holiday Special. Nothing really bad about these stories. It's just that, well, it's just Marvel's response to something DC did a decade prior. It's like, okay, we'll do something like that with Daily Bugle. And they did. Though, in the case of, and now like, they're probably thinking, okay, there's probably not many stories to focus on the Bugle itself. So they just collect two mini-series, which have nothing to do with each other, just feature stuff with the Daily Bugle, a backup feature, and a story from the Holiday Special from 2004. And this only came out just last year. Yep. I'm going to give this 9.5 out of 10. Next up is The Mighty Captain Marvel Volume 2. This is Band of Sisters. 5 through 8 is a Secret Empire tie-in with the whole thing of the planet stuff. And it shows like Avery coming out of her coma, where she was knocked into coma at the start of the Secret Empire, and she remained coma for pretty much the entirety of it, up until the end where she broke the planetary shield, which is something that was a concept started by Maria Hill of all people. Yep. And the final issue, which basically was the aftermath of this thing. Now, during the course of these 8 issues, and of course Secret Empire, the Alpha Flight space station is destroyed, trying to destroy the planetary shield. Yeah, this particular space station was used as the primary setting of Captain Marvel since 2015. So roughly for 2 years, this was the primary setting of the Captain Marvel comic book, with characters like Sasquatch, Amora, and Puck being supporting characters. Yep, but they also throw in the Guardians as well, because, well, why not? And I really love the concept of this. And so I've been thinking, okay, is there issue 10 of Mighty Captain Marvel? Nope, because starting with the following issue, it would have been issue 10. That was renumbered to being Captain Marvel 125, and then 4 issues later, the book ended. Oh yeah, and Phil noted the covers for those things. Yeah, issue 9 is a great little standalone issue, which opens up with Carol with the 2 Jessicas in the Marvel Universe, Jessica Drew and Jessica Jones. And of course, because, well, Carol doesn't have a home, yeah, apparently she's no longer living in her apartment inside of Statue of Liberty, so she decides to crash at Jessica Drew's place, where her baby is sleeping, Gary Drew. And still, it's been over like a year since the Spider-Man book got canceled, and yet we still don't know who the father is of this baby. Yeah, I'm curious though, who is the father of this baby? Dennis Hopeless never revealed this at all. It was a frequent question people kept asking, and yet and that question was never answered by the time the series ended. Yeah, but these are really good set of issues for Captain Marvel, and I'm hoping the library gets the next trade, which collects the final, like, as of right now, the which collects 5 issues, and then of course next there's the Life of Captain Marvel, which is done by the same creator, which I'm glad the fact they kept the same creative team on Captain Marvel, except they're exploring her, they're giving her a new origin story, probably not gonna have her powers, but probably exploring her years before she became Captain Marvel. Margaret Cho is the writer of this, with artwork by, let's see, for issues 5 through 8, it's Eric Arcania, who actually has all 9 issues, issues 5 through 9, with Mark Garland in issue 5. Great set of issues in here. I'm going to give this a 9.5 out of 10. It's really good. Yep. Also, the character Wendy in here, who's kind of like their mole, they had a little bit early on. Yeah, she later gets forgiven for, and, well, she gets restored to a post. It's kind of still weird, though, the fact that we have the space version of Alpha Flight, and yet the rest of Alpha Flight is still on Earth, and they're never brought up at all for some strange reason. But, yeah, that's it for this episode. So, next episode is a couple more trades I own. Those 2 were trades from the library. Yeah, next one is going to be a character from the pages of Teen Titans and a Justice League trade. But you'll find out what they are in the next episode, which will be episode 594 and Doubleshot number 498. Yep, you'll find out what those are in the next episode, okay? Until we see you there, bye.